Good morning. It is a wet and windy and wild Friday here. It is Friday, the 26th of June, and it is wet and it is windy. And I don't even know if you can hear me properly. But we're going to do our day, I don't even know what, of 365 of morning routines and rituals with me, Karla Maree. I have had one of the longest weeks of my life. It's probably been over 10 days since I last was on here. We need to scroll through the book to find what day we are up to. So June 26th, we're going to start our morning with our Luminous Humanist book that gives us a good intention and helps us with our day. Raising your vibration in the name of the game. Just as certain diseases cannot live in an alkaline state, negativity cannot live in a high vibration. Who you spend time with and the activities in which you participate are paramount to your well-being. The paradox is that being the light to someone in dark place can deepen and grow your vibration like nothing else. The trick is to know yourself well so you can discern whether you're feeling strong and grounded enough to meet someone in a dense vibration while maintaining your light. If you can bring your vibrant spirit to someone who's lost in their way, it's one of the best and fastest ways to raise your vibration. I affirm I am stable in my light. I am honored to pay forward the hand up I've received from others. You can't make that up. It's my week. It's where I'm at. It's what I've been navigating. And I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. It's probably been one of the hardest weeks of my life to do that. To be the light while someone's going through dark. And this week because of that, has allowed me, I guess, to be the center of other people's drama. And something that I've discovered while doing that interesting walk is you will always be the bad guy in someone's story when you're trying to share light onto a situation. And a lot of the time it's because we don't have all of the facts or all of the information. And it's really hard when there's a lot of manipulation added to that, right? And it is something that I've been discovering over the last 10 days of how much manipulation one person can have, how that narrative can then be spun in so many different ways, and how those who are the true victim then really does struggle to speak, to come out, to bring those things actually to the light. And I think at times we need to be reminded to be a little bit more graceful in that space, to be a little bit more gentle with each other, to remember that we're human beings, and we make mistakes. We're human, and we operate from a space of sharing what we know in that moment, I guess is probably the right wording here. I'm just trying to be mindful on how I word all of these things, because my words this week seem to have gotten myself into a lot of trouble when I shared honesty. And I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty heartbreaking when people run their own story or version of events because of what they presume or what they've heard by only one half or one side or whatever. And this is where, when you are navigating anything wobbly, particularly DV, when the stories are different. So you have, let's keep it real simple and factual. Usually in a narcissistic relationship, because I'm just going off lived experience here, a narcissist needs to love someone. So they need to love bomb you and make you feel like you're the only person. They're really good at telling you the things you want to hear, not always good at acting on them. And an empath wants to help. We want to create this space where that person feels loved and seen, because we can actually see the potential in the person and we want the best. And so this creates these blurry lines in these spaces. And what we forget in those areas is to come back to self-love tools. We forget to come back to creating boundaries, speaking our truth honestly and openly, and being transparent with where we are at. And this is where, when you're in these relationships, this is how they unravel. If you've been dishonest, your story will catch up to you eventually. It's just how life works. And this week has shown me that. This week has shown me how lying and manipulation can really unravel fast. But what I know around this is the isolation. And this is why it's so hard for a victim to speak up. So they've been told their whole relationship, no one's going to listen to you, no one's going to hear you, no one's going to believe you. And so when you speak up for the first time and share your voice, and then your abuser runs their narrative, it's really disheartening. It's really upsetting. It's really emotional. And that's just for us with normal minds. Now, imagine adding like mental health into that, whatever mental health, because there is a lot of umbrellas when it comes to mental health. And so if you start to move in those layers, we can then get real blurred in how we share our love, right? And this is the problem. Sometimes we don't realize our love is creating the hurt, the pain, because we're so caught in whatever the story is in our mind, right? And this is what happens in narcissistic relationships. They're so caught in those stories of what they perceive the relationship to be, that the empath is going crazy because the goalposts move so regularly for the narcissist, because it's their way or the highway majority of the time in those spaces. And so it's our job to smooth it over, heal it, make it quiet, you know? We do the things we do to keep peace at times. And so when you're ending a relationship in those spaces, you're learning as an empath to have a voice for the very first time. And so when you're starting to share your voice, your words, your opinions, your experience, it upsets others because it doesn't fit the narrative of the story that the narcissist shared. And this is where you see division in communities and spaces, family divide sometimes. And this is where it's really tricky to navigate. Over the last 20 odd years, I've been going through this in a really interesting way. I've been navigating this space and healing and releasing and moving through my own personal layers of what I've experienced when it comes to DV. And one thing that comes back time and time again are the false beliefs, are the beliefs that others tell us that we then believe over time. And they're the things that I enjoy teaching us to change, to heal through, to move through. And because of my course, because of creating that space of reflection, because I challenge others to sit with themselves, if you are a narcissist, you struggle with that. And that's okay. And it's only because you've never been taught. That's been the problem for a narcissist their whole life. And most of their childhood, they've been pushed to the side and they don't know how to be, respond, act, all of these things within those spaces. And then they're learning to have those voices for the very first time. There's a lot of layers. A lot of layers. And this is why domestic abuse is so complex. Without any other things, right? Without any other boundaries, without any other conversations. It's hard to navigate, it's hard to walk through. And it brings up my own stuff when I'm helping my friends, my clients navigate and walk through all of the things that you guys are navigating in that space. I'm so grateful for all of you being a part of this journey with me. This week has probably been one of the hardest weeks to navigate. I'm exhausted. Zach's exhausted. The supports are exhausted. The family is exhausted. And as we navigate this horrible situation, I would like to just remind each other to be kind, to explore situations from all perspectives, not just the stories you're told. And look inside people, have conversations with them. I'm an open book. I have zero to hide. I am probably one of the most honest people you will ever meet. And my reason for that is because of the oath I took with Spirit. I chose to sit in front of God, Christ, whatever you want to call it. I call it Spirit. I sat in front of that light and I had my conversation up there in the ether, and I made a choice as a human being to choose love. I choose love. I choose love over everything. And it's really hard to choose love when people attack you and publicly humiliate you and all of the things. And as I navigate this interesting chapter of my life, I'm going to continue to choose love and honesty and transparency and integrity, because that's the journey I chose with Spirit. I chose to be a light worker. I chose to help humanity. I chose to help others. That includes talking about others behind their back. That includes gossiping about others when they don't know a situation. It's hard being a human being, navigating heaviness. But that's the journey, right? And if you are concerned, worried, or all of the things for our girl, if you're aware of what's going on, if you're not aware, we have a client here on emergency respite until she can get full-time support. She's highly autistic with disability needs, and it's a lot. But What makes me get through this is knowing that she's happy, she's eating, the inflammation in her body has visibly gone down in 10 days already. Her family and colleagues are all very surprised in the shocking difference of how her energy has transformed in the week. And that is what is keeping me going, knowing that we are helping her properly with the right support in place. I'd rather my normal life, if I'm honest, but here we are helping. It's been a big, but I'm grateful that I have tools to help keep my friend safe. And I'm so grateful she's eating. I'm so grateful she's thriving. I'm so grateful that her family are happy where she is, and I wish there was more help. It's quite easy for people to point a finger in and tell me who I am and where my heart sits.